This is the definition of money can't buy you class, because unlimited budget, and she chose that.
Jeff Bezos has enough money to wipe out homelessness across the entire US and still be ballin' with billions in the bank. But nah, he's not about that life. Instead, the man's out here throwing what looks like a royal-level mega wedding in Venice with Lauren Sánchez, who's now officially his wife. Imagine being that rich while the world's falling apart, wars raging, human rights being crushed, disasters hitting hard, and democracy getting shredded. And your biggest concern is, how many millions should I spend on my big day? All because someone said yes to spending their life with him. Meanwhile, folks are out here shouting, oligarchy and free Palestine, while he's cruising through Venice like it's a movie. If you missed it, Jeff Bezos and Lauren Sánchez just threw one of the wildest billionaire weddings ever, and people have been talking nonstop and not in a cute way. If this madness hasn't taken over your For You page yet, let me break it down. It was a full-blown 3-day spectacle in Venice, Italy. We're talking luxury yacht parties, a wild foam blowout, a Vogue-approved wedding gown, and to top it all off, a pajama-themed bash that felt more like rich people doing a parody of regular life. But here's the real tea. Locals were straight up furious. It wasn't just loud and flashy. It literally hijacked the whole city. Water taxis, all booked up. Whole sections of Venice, blocked off. Normal folks couldn't even go about their day like usual. Protesters didn't hold back either. They showed up deep, waving signs like "No space for Bezos," and even tossed a Jeff Bezos dummy into the canal to make their point loud and clear.
Oligarchy and free Palestine.
They slammed the wedding as a clueless, tone-deaf flex in a city already drowning in over-tourism and climate issues. And before the chaos even started, people were already roasting the leaked wedding invite. Like, seriously? This is what it looked like? Come on, you have to be joking. That invite? It looked like it was whipped up on a busted 2010 version of Microsoft Paint, or maybe snagged off a free Canva template someone forgot to customize. Be for real. With all that cash, this is what you came up with? You could have hired the world's top graphic designer, but nah, they went with something that screamed high-budget wedding, low-effort vibe. And Lauren? She was catching heat too. Folks were saying she looked like a space Barbie who got styled mid-orbit, like full glam and zero gravity.
This is the definition of money can't buy you class, because unlimited budget, and she chose that.
Now get this. The whole wedding reportedly cost at least $10 million, and word is Jeff dropped around $50,000 per guest. With 200 people on that list, yeah, the math is mathin' hard.
As iconic housewife Countess Luann would say, money can't buy you class, and honestly for that matter taste. Because the richest couple in the world, Jeff Bezos and Lauren Sánchez, just got married, and this dress is hideous. Sorry, I try to normally be positive on this app. I just really think that this dress is ugly, and when you have unlimited dollars to spend on something, like, really?
And there weren't just 1 or 2 parties. There were 3 separate themed events. One of them was a full-on pajama party. Look, no shade, but Jeff Bezos is 61. A pajama party at that age? Either grow up or maybe don't if you're sleeping like a king and waking up with a net worth that makes reality optional. Some of us might throw a wild pajama bash too, if we had money to burn like that. Or maybe not, who knows? But here's the twist. Turns out Jeff and Lauren had already gotten legally married a whole month before the Venice spectacle even kicked off. Yep, the papers were quietly signed. No cameras, no chaos. So that jaw-dropping wedding weekend, it wasn't even about saying I do. It was just for show. People saw the whole thing as a power move. As in, watch us flex while the world watches. Instead of doing something chill and classy, they pulled off this flashy multi-million-dollar extravaganza in one of the most iconic, history-soaked cities on Earth. And the guest list? Let's just say it was stacked, and not in a way that had folks impressed.
Che sfrutta i territori a una persona che pensa che anche lo spazio ormai sia suo, noi non ci siamo, a una persona che va a braccetto con
A-list stars mixed with mega-rich elites who feel way out of touch. Sydney Sweeney rolled up, Gayle King was there, and so was Oprah. Oh, and the Kardashian crew made a strong appearance, minus Kourtney. But, of course, Kris made sure to be seen. Orlando Bloom, Tom Brady, and even Ivanka Trump all showed up for what felt more like a billionaire carnival than a wedding. And of course, the business bros had to pop out too. Bill Gates showed up, and so did Brian Grazer. You know, the Hollywood guy who's been hanging on to power for decades now. But when people started dragging the wedding for being out of touch, Jeff and Lauren tried to flip the narrative. They claimed the whole thing was just a celebration of love and Venetian culture. Real sweet, right? Their team even said they worked mostly with local vendors and dropped a donation into Venice's cultural fund, reportedly a few million. But let's be real, does that even make a dent when your net worth is close to $250 billion? That's billion with a B. To a lot of folks, this felt like a weak attempt at cleaning up the mess. The donation didn't shift the mood. It just made things feel even more disconnected. The public takeaway wasn't, wow, what a beautiful love story. It was more like, so this is what happens when insane wealth floats so far off the ground it forgets the rest of us even exist. It's got people asking, did Jeff Bezos pay some of these big-name celebs to show up? Or maybe offer them sweet perks to make an appearance? Some folks are convinced it's all about exposure. When you're surrounded by a crew of billionaires, that spotlight gets real bright. So why would any A-lister turn that down? One comment hit hard. If he can afford to rent out Venice, paying MK is just pocket change. And facts. When your net worth is sitting at $240 billion, regular people can't even wrap their heads around that kind of money.
I think the first thing that you have to understand is Jeff Bezos. Now, Jeff Bezos has a net worth of over $200 billion. So just to put this in like normal human money, for him, a $48 million wedding is equivalent to somebody spending $120 and they make $500K a year. Put that in perspective. So this wedding is not actually about the cost. It is actually about curating an experience that reflects status and the evolvement of his identity. Because you can see here in 1997, he's hardly the man you would want to go on a gondola ride with. But he was always so ambitious that he would work at any cost. I mean, this is the office that has made so much of the hustle and grind culture so prominent. This is Jeff Bezos in 1999 being interviewed by 60 Minutes because nobody thought the internet would be a thing. In fact, he had a reputation for being so frugal that he wouldn't buy desks for himself or for the employees and insisted that everybody go to Home Depot and build their own desk, where he proudly still uses a desk store even in 2024. I mean, this is a real sign that this wedding is about power and status and not about just lavishly spending. Because a wedding of this scale is meant to be about identity. It is actually a brand, and it is working to influence people. More specifically, he's working to impact the legacy of influence with all of the elite circles around the world. Same as his yacht, if we were to bring that up as well. In fact, all of his purchases that are big and showy and flashy are really a power flex. It used to be that wearing a button-up shirt.
Looking at the photos, most of the people there aren't really doing anything or creating anything either. Just being seen? That is their whole job. The goal wasn't just a party, it was to make Jeff and Lauren look super important. Like, they've got a tight circle of celebrity friends, not just a crowd of people chasing fame. Some of the smaller names likely slid in through industry connections. Agents probably worked overtime to get their clients that invite, because being in that room, even by accident, instant clout, like catching fame by standing close enough to let it rub off. Sure, there were probably a few real friends in the mix, but let's not act like most of these friendships aren't basically bought. It's not like folks are lining up to kick it with Jeff Bezos because they genuinely love his vibe. Let's be honest, a lot of these relationships run on power, not personality. Still, someone made a solid point. Don't give them excuses. They showed up because they wanted to. And that's true. It's all about the exposure and high-level networking. The actors, the musicians, they know exactly what they're doing. They're not just partying, they're making moves. And let's not forget, Amazon isn't just selling packages. Jeff's empire owns MGM, United Artists, Orion Pictures, plus a bunch of TV production and distribution companies. He's got more entertainment power than most studio heads, and probably has every major agency and studio exec saved in his phone. So, yeah, making him happy, that's not just smart, it's strategic. Don't forget, Amazon's got major control over the music game too. So honestly, if you get that invite, you're showing up. No questions asked. But now I want to hear your take on this whole wedding circus, because calling it a wedding extravaganza doesn't even scratch the surface. Was this just a love fest? Or was it really a billionaire flex with some deeper, more transactional vibes behind the celebrity guest list? Do you think these stars were there out of friendship or strategy? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. I seriously want to know what you think. And if you're living for this kind of celebrity drama and behind-the-scenes breakdowns, don't miss out. Hit that subscribe button to stay locked in with NoFilter. We drop fresh gossip every single day, from scandals to celeb shakeups. No tea goes undropped. Like, share, and make sure you're in the loop. I'll catch you in the next one.